Okay, we are going to do a very simple baby painting just to make you understand how I'll be teaching, if online or offline. So I wanted to give my students a flavor of my teaching so that they can decide whether or not to join my coaching classes or my teaching. Okay. So one of my neighbor asked me to demonstrate a painting in half an hour last week. So I just randomly painted something for her. So I thought, why not show this demonstration to everyone across the different locations. We have people joining from Pune, Hyderabad, and Chennai. So it is tri-state. So I thought, why not give them a flavor and then make them decide whether or not to join the course. Or I just wanted you to enjoy, explore what this painting is about. Okay. So the painting we'll be doing is acrylic painting. Acrylic paint, by nature of it dries faster. So if for Indian humidity and temperature, on an average, it dries in 8 to 10 seconds. So we need to be a little faster. We need to have knowledge of color theory and a little bit of drawing. That we will explore little later. For this painting, you just need to know we are going to paint a sky and some grass and some leaves. If possible, if I could manage to put in a tree, I'll be happy to do it. Otherwise, we'll stop with a little bit of sky, possibly clouds and grass and some flowers. Okay. I hope you can see the screen. If possible, pin up the screen so that the painting screen will be slightly bigger to you. So I'll be using these brushes. Yeah. This is simple synthetic brushes. So different colors needs different kind of brushes. For acrylic paints, you have to buy synthetic brushes or golden Teflon brushes. Okay. The canvas, what you see, is already gesso. I've given a layer of gesso and also leveling medium. So if you do that, it is easy to paint over a gesso canvas. Okay. So now, before doing any painting, we'll have to properly do a planning. So I'm just mentally making a marking. I want bigger size skyscape and very little grasscape, so that the view will be like worm's eye view. If there is a worm crawling in the floor, if it looks up and sees, it will see little grass and more of sky. So I want, so 70% I want sky to be visible and 30% I want grass to be visible. So I'm just making a approximate marking. So up till this, I will have my sky. Okay. So I'm using cobalt teal as my sky color. I hope you can see my palette. This is cobalt teal. You can use any blue of your choice. I just chose cobalt teal, and with little bit of yellow, it becomes very beautiful sky. But I'm not going to do all that mixing here. I'm just going to give a gradient of cobalt blue. This is titanium white. This is Prussian blue, a little sap green, this emerald green. This is permanent orange, some burnt sienna. This is lime yellow. Yeah, lime green, you can call it as. And this is lemon yellow. And this is Van Dyke brown. For now, you can just imagine this light green, dark green. You can just remember it like this. Otherwise, when you become, for artists, there is no green, blue. There's shades of green, shades of blue. Okay. So this is the palette I have. I have used a wet cloth. This is a non-woven cloth. It keeps my paint wet. So if needed, I will just spray some water over it. Otherwise, acrylic paint dries faster. I'll be wasting my paint and also I'll waste my time in reloading the paint. Okay. So we'll go to the painting. I'll just wet the canvas a little bit. This step is 100% optional. Yeah. So I'm starting with a darker shade of sky. So I'm using, there are so many grades of paint. This is artist grade paint. So there are student grade, there is artist grade, and there is professional grade. Okay. So I'm using a bit luxurious paint. I wanted you to see the effect of it. every grade will have its own effect. Student grade, you can't do much experimentation or much delicate work you will not be able to do, but it solves the purpose to begin with. But I will always recommend you to buy artist grade if you can spend more professional grade. There are so many Indian grades that are available in market. Like Camlin is one famous brand, and there are so many grades of acrylic paints in Camel. I would suggest you to try the high density one. It's called HD acrylics. I love those output it gives. The output is so brilliant. So I would like you to try that. We start with the basic student color. Student color is okay for doing craft. For painting purpose, you need little better grade. So where you can do, you can comfortably mix different colors. Comfortably, it will give you brilliance. The color brilliance is much better when it comes to the slightly expensive artist or professional grades of color. So what I have did is, I've started with a darker tone of blue. As I went down, I've added a little bit of white into it. So you see this darker shade. First, initially I took a little bit of white, and as I went down, I keep on adding more white. So upon as I reach the surface of the landscape, I made it more white. So sky is never completely one single color. Sky is always gradients of color. So and it's not uniform throughout. You will find darker color here, and then slightly next to it will be lighter shade, and it's like that. So you need not properly mix the color and apply it. As you go, you mix it. Only then it looks random. In nature, nothing is defined. Everything is random. So you have to master the beauty of painting randomly. That's how you make a beautiful flower. That's how you make a beautiful leaf. No? So that we will learn in next workshop. I'll be painting a flower. I'll show you how randomly to paint a flower, but yet it looks so realistic and beautiful. So the message is, try not to mix everything and then apply it. As you go, as you progress, keep mixing it when it comes to landscape. That makes the painting beautiful. So all this planning has to happen before you start the painting. So sit and plan for some time, and then bring your canvas and bring your paint, and then commence the painting. In that way, the painting will look more beautiful, more realistic. Okay. So we are done with the, I'm just rushing. This is not how I regularly teach. I'm just rushing to finish the painting in half an hour. Okay. I'm just trying to give you a flavor. We are done with the sky. The simple way, I'll teach you a simple way to paint the clouds now. So clouds again has very many shades of color. Normally we think cloud is in white color, but there are so many shadows that happen over clouds, and that makes it beautiful three-dimensional projection in the sky. So for this painting is two-dimensional. To make it into three-dimensional, we need to use more number of layers with different shades. I'll show you how. So now this is the sky. I will not directly, my white color will be the last color. Always the pure white color, wherever you paint, it will be the last layer. It will not be never be the first layer. White is normally used for highlighting. Okay. And very minimal quantity of white you should be using. So I'm taking the same cloud color and making it little darker. So I'm using still little rough brush, so that if I use soft brush, that cloudy texture will not happen. So there are so many ways to paint. I'm using, I'll teach you one of the simplest method. And if possible, I'll show you one more simplest method. I'll just take the brush. Brush is supposed to be painted like this, but for clouds, I'll paint it this way. So see. The clouds are starting to form. Can you see it? So very randomly, very gently, keep spreading the clouds. So this is our first layer. I'll slowly work on the second layer. So as you progress, see, there is a pattern how clouds forms. Clouds doesn't form in all directions. Clouds take the shape of the wind, no wind's direction. So when you try to paint a cloud, try to follow one single direction. Otherwise, it will look very random. When just before the storm, you will see random clouds. You can use your fingers also. So for you to paint realistically, beautifully, the nature as it is, you will have to observe more. You have to observe nature more. You have to observe the clouds. You have to observe the trees. You have to observe how different leaves are attached to the stem. Everything you'll have to observe, touch, feel. And this feeling, this observance goes inside you and comes out as a painting. Okay. So clouds look differently during the day, during the night, and during different seasons. We get different clouds. I'm just making this area darker so that I can. This is the final. This is one way. There is another way to paint. Yeah. You see this? This is a scotch brite. Just peel off this sponge. Yeah. Just taking the sponge, I'll wet it. And then I'll use this spot. I'll add the highlights now. Now the real magic will happen. Make it as random as possible. Yeah. Yeah. We are almost done with the sky. Just I'll move forward towards the grass. So we need to display three-dimensionality in the grass as well. So first layer, I'll paint little darker. So I'm using sap green and little brown. So it will be more towards green shade than in brown shade. See. This area is wet, so I'm going from bottom to top. The moment I reach the top, I hope this area will be dried. So this is also planning, kind of planning. So where to start and where to which area to paint second, which area to paint third. For faster painting, little bit of planning is required. And I'm not going to yeah, you see this, I'm not exactly joining these two areas. I'm just trying to go overboard and so that it looks like a bushy area. Otherwise, we don't need to exact differentiation to layers. No? We need, so it looks like this is a grassy layer. Okay. We'll just go a little overboard. It means that there are bushes in the far behind. Okay. First layer is done. So we need to wait for some time. Yeah. So what I can do now is I'll paint blurry images of flower when this color is wet, so that the both blurry images will merge together. This particular flower was not the part of the plant because we need some time for it to dry. I'll just try. So blurry flowers you can easily paint. Just you need to show that there is flowers somewhere in here. Okay. So when we paint white color flowers, this will look like this is behind the white flower, behind the defined flower, something like that. So, okay. And then the next layer would be I'll start painting the grasses. So the same color, I'll start painting the grass in the same color. So grass again is very random, grows very random. So as much as possible, do in all directions. And some thin grasses, some tall grasses, some. So balance between the tall grasses and smaller grasses has to be there. So now see, when you paint a grass over this flower, it pushes the flower behind. So that is the first step of doing any three-dimensional object. So now, if you paint 2-3 layers over it, this two-dimensional painting will give the illusion of three-dimensional landscape. See how beautifully it will slowly come out. So this is the first layer of grass. I'm just trying to make it a little bit more bushy by adding random strokes. So this is the first green. We will add like few more greens. So I'll take to this dark green, I will add little emerald green and see if it is lighter. Okay, I'll add more. Time is, yeah. I need to be quick. Okay. Can you see the difference in color? I've intentionally kept grass taller here. I want taller grasses, and as well as there is a cascading effect. See, it goes ascending and descending. You allow to show in grass. If you show all the grass in same one single line, it will not look so appealing. Okay, I'm trying to add more grasses. So bottom to top, top to bottom. And with the second shade, what I'll do is I'll just add some leaves of little different kind, so that you see different kind of leaves in between. Okay. Okay. Now I'll add little from lime green and emerald green. So I get a different shade of light green. I'll push over this painting as well. Yeah. I like this grasses that bends, no? Love these grasses. I have to take them straight and make them bend. So the same, I'll do this one here. Yeah. Watching the painting process like watching a movie. The initial stages are little dirty. As you progress, the final stages only reveals the magic. Till then, it is like, oh, what is this girl doing? You get a feeling of what's happening here, so dirty. So now I'll try to paint one flower. So I'm taking green and little of green, little white, and I'm taking little green and little brown. I'm trying to make a gray version of white, just to add a few more layers. So yeah, I'm happy with this. Great. Yeah. So this flower is kind of like marigold. I need a bigger center part. Right. I'll have one flower here. When you paint flowers, you need to place them in such a way there is some harmony. Yeah. The meeting is supposed to end in 10 minutes. It's a free version. So the meeting will end in 10 minutes. I'll finish before that. Not a problem. I added brown as an initial layer. I'm trying to add orange and brown together over it. Just trying to create a dome shape in between. See this? And then the highlight would be, I'll take one more layer over it. Okay. I'll just add little. This is too green. We'll add little texture to them in different shade so that there are green leaves and as well as some old leaves which are dried. Okay, we're almost done with the painting. I will show you the real magic now. Yeah. So that is our speed painting. Yeah. So do you like it?